Good day, everybody. I'm Dexter Nathan, and the date is today. It's the December the 16th, and the year is 2022. I'm doing this. I'm recording this video from my home with regards to something that I like to talk about, and about. About a month ago, I was in Colombo, Sri Lanka. To be precise, it was on November the 22nd, and I was in Colombo. I didn't travel outside Colombo. I was there for like 20 days, and during my stay in Colombo, I made it a point to go to the Colombo Museum. And I remember the last time I visited the museum, I was taken. I was a little boy. I was like less, yeah, about I was 10 years old. So 10 years. I was uh, I was there. So that's way back many years ago. So after all these years, but my memory is vivid as ever because my long-term memory is remarkable. There are memories of different kind. People are strong in different areas. There is long-term memory, short-term memory. There is sensory perceptive memory, and then there is uh, what you call audible memory and visual memory. Don't want to get into it. I have a lot of I'm very, in a sense, very gifted with visual memory. When I see something, uh, if I see someone, uh, I won't forget a face, no matter how they have disguised, no matter how many years have gone by. So that's visual memory. That's probably one reason why I can draw. Uh, like I didn't develop that skill, but I'm very weak in the sensory perceptive memory because I forget where I left my car keys. I forget little things like where I left my cell phone, so on. So it's just things like that. Those are those are related to sensory perceptive memory. At any rate, my long-term memory is always been good, so I don't forget something that I liked and saw. Even I can't even recall some of these memories. It's not completely fragmented, like very vivid. I could even remember things that I was an infant, like not even a toddler, like a baby. So that's scary, how I can remember certain things. So anyway, going back to the Colombo Museum, yes, I was 10 years old. I was taken in an excursion, uh, and then we were taught how the last king of Sri Lanka was Sri Vikrama Singha. In Tamil, Sri Vikrama Singhan, and in Sinhala it's Sri Vikrama Singha. And he was the last king, and the British conquered most part of the island. But it see, Sri Lanka is the succession of the colonial rule. It's somewhat similar to South Africa. The first invaders or the conquerors, the foreign power, it was Portuguese, and then the Dutch defeated the Dutch, meaning the Netherlands, defeated the Portuguese, the colonial power, and ruled Sri Lanka just like South Africa. And they brought Christianity and Roman Catholicism came with the foreign invasions. So I mean, Eventually, when I think they ruled for about 100 and subject to correction, I'm just going by my, you know, just don't quote me on that, but I think they ruled about approximately about 110 years. Portuguese little less than 100 years. And the last to rule were rule Sri Lanka in terms of colonial power. It was the Great Britain, and if I'm not mistaken, the Great Britain ruled not quite 200 years, but little less than 200 years, 170 some odd years, right? Uh, please, I'm just randomly saying it without even checking. You can check on, you have Google and you can check. So I'm not, I'm just saying it. Don't don't go by what I'm saying, but just at random, I'm just saying it. Uh, So, the last king was Sri Vikramarajasinghe. Singh. What's interesting is, I remember as a child, they showed, the museum had, what is it, the throne and is it scepter of the Sri Vikramarajasinghe, Singh, the last king of Kandy. Uh, and what else? The bows and arrows he used, and his sword. The sword was, you can see, it was the sheath right beside the sheath. It was like left, you know, uh, just out from the sheath. So it looked kind of dark metal, and it looked like a sword that would be like over 200 years old. And so I those memories and the throne at that time I thought like we were told that British took I mean they took a lot of things wherever they whatever countries they ruled. So Sri Vikramaraja Singh's uh, throne is all his you know uh, his scepter, his sword, all this, whatever. They took it, they took with them when they left the country, they took it to Britain, took it to England. And it was kept in, I think, the British Museum. So, anyways, when the local government took over from the British, I mean, they didn't have to fight like the Gandhi. Gandhi won the freedom in India in 1947. So immediately after, the British decided to give freedom to Sri Lanka as well. At that time, it was not Sri Lanka; it was known as Ceylon. British called it Ceylon. Uh, different the Greeks call it Taprobane. It was known by many many different names. But now the Sinhalese changed everything. They call it Sri Lanka, right? And so, anyways, I think the name change Sri Lanka from Ceylon took place in 1972. Uh, and yes, at any rate, the point I'm uh, trying to bring up is I just went to the museum and saw the museum, and I see a lot of things. The Sri Vikramarajasinghe Singha's scepter uh, and the throne. The sword is, it's not the same sword. Now they have an ornamental sword. And when I was there, the school children are on excursion, and that I can see the teachers are telling them this is what he used. No, definitely it was not what he used. I don't know what happened, and I don't see the bows and arrows. Maybe someone went hunting with that and never came back. God knows what happened to it. Uh, so, I mean, a false narrative is presented to the school children, and I will show it in a moment what that looks like. And even Sri Vikrama Raja Singh, The Sinhalese say is Sinhalese man, but actually he was a Telugu man. We they for a long while they thought he was a Tamil man. So even the Sinhalese think he was a Tamil man, but he changed his name to Sri Vikramaraja Singh. So the Tamil say Sri Vikramaraja Singham or Singhan. But actually, he was a Telugu man. His original name was Kanusami Nayakar. Nayakars are Telugu. In Sri Lanka, all these Sinhalese people have Nayakars. They are all coming from the Telugu infiltration into the country. Ratnayaka, Danayaka, Bandaranayaka, Dudley Senanayaka. Uh, the airport is known as Katunayaka. Now they changed to Bandaranayaka International Airport. These are all Nayakas. The Sinhalese are so deluded, and the history they teach a false narrative in terms of from child for the children are indoctrinated in school, and it, in from the primordial times the Tamil invasion has been there, and the Tamils have ruled that country. Sinhalese came in. Sinhalese say they were the earliest settlers. So be it. But the Tamils have been there from day one, except that the Tamil, the waves of migration didn't, the Tamils from South India didn't migrate to Sri Lanka, uh, and they conquered the island that the South Indian kings. They wanted tribute. Okay, your country is under us, and they would leave, and they might take a marry a princess or whoever, women were taken and taken to Hindi, to Tamil Nadu. So this is how it happened. But Sinhalese, especially the Buddhist monks, Sinhalese, the language is a Bengali language. The whole language, I think it's called, uh, is it Prakriti or something like that? But it's the ancient language, but Bengali is said to be an offshoot of that language. So, and Sinhala is what you call it's three languages coming together and getting I mean a mixture of three languages: Pali, Sanskrit, and Bengali. A lot of Sinhalese words you will see in Bengali. It's surprising. For instance, in Bengali, the rice is known as bhat. In Sinhala, it's bhat too. So, anyways, that's. I don't want to get too much into it. You can look it up, research, but I don't know why. This see the Buddhist clergy in Sri Lanka, they're very much involved in politics, completely fundamentally against what Gautama Buddha they has taught the humanity. Gautama Buddha was a prince king. He left his his uh, his royal life, and he just he wanted to find the truth and the ultimate bliss. He did, after becoming a vagabond and a beggar and going around the country and having no belongings whatsoever. But what everything what Gautama Buddha has propounded or taught uh, the humankind, today's Buddhism, especially in Sri Lanka, is completely. I rather use the word the precepts, the noble precepts that were taught by Gautama Buddha is being prostituted for political gain, and the Buddhist monks are actively in politics. They control the political scene there, and the 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 politicians they go after. I mean, this is the political game in any country. There's two inventions in the world. One is money. The other one is religion. Right? It's created by mankind. Money rules the world. religion rules the mind. So you need religion to control the people's mind. And if you if you have the religious base on your side, you can easily in the democratic world you can easily come to power, come to politics, can rule the country. So that's the game. And so this is happening. And what it's why it's disconcerting is the false narrative presented, and how the young minds are indoctrinated, right. So that said, we'll throughout before Sri Vikram Rajasinghe, that was 1,000 years ago, a millennium exactly ago, Cholas ruled. Long before Cholas, I think there's it's repeatedly. I mean, it was Raja Raja Chola. 2,000 years ago, this is Rajaraja Chola's reign was 1,000 years ago, a millennium. 2 millennium ago, we hear about the history of a place called Dambulla in Sri Lanka, and Valagampa, and ruled. How Valagampa was defeated and he was hiding in Dambulla, and then someone called Elela Singan in Tamil, but in Sinhala it got twisted up, and he was known as Elela Singan came to be known as Ellalan, and then in Sinhala language Ellara. So he was not, from what I learned from information, historical information, looking up, he was just some kind of commander of the military legion. When the Cholas conquered, they left him, and he was ruling. And subsequently, he was the history says he was defeated by someone called Dutugamunu, a 16-year-old prince. Dutugamunu is the great, for the Sinhalese community, he is the all, greatest of all times. And why Dutugamnu? Dutu means mean spirited, evil. So he must actually, Dusta Gamini became Dutugamunu. Dusta means someone who is evil. So, anyways, there's a history about how he defeated 16-year-old prince, defeated an 80-year-old ruler, Elalan, Singan. That's all apart. So we'll come to the time the British left Sri Lanka, Ceylon, in 1947. They took this, who is this, the king, Sri Vikrama Rajasinghe, originally known as Kannusami Nayakar. He ruled Sri Lanka. He ruled the Sinhalese folks in Kandy. And so we'll get to, in a moment. I'll show you what happened there in the museum. I was doing. I didn't see the what I saw when I was a 10-year-old kid. The original sword and the bows and arrows. All that's missing. They have now kept a ornamental thing. And I was trying to do a video, and I was the museum officials asked me not to do it because I don't have permission. If anything, do some still photo. You can do a still picture, not a video. I said okay, but regardless, I got some videos to show because by the time they approached me and stopped me, I've already taken the videos. So let me show it to you now. Good day, friends and well-wishers. It's November the 22nd. I am in the capital city of Sri Lanka, and as you know, it's the name of the city is Colombo. I'm just outside the Colombo Museum, and so if you're a history buff, and if you're a traveler, if you come to this city or this country for that matter, you should be visiting the museum. At all the historical information and all the chronicles and everything pertaining to Sri Lankan history is all here. That said, uh, that's the Colombo Museum, and it's. I just went inside and sort of did around, and it's a huge complex. Although it doesn't look that big in the on the camera, but when you walk around, it's fairly huge. About 20 days ago, I was in Tamil Nadu, and the building somewhat looks like. Pause it, okay. Okay, thank you. I'll pause it, no worries, okay? So this is what I'm talking about. This, you see the sword they have displayed. It's some kind of ornamental sword. Cannot be used in a real duel. And I don't see, never saw the bows and arrows of that was displayed many decades ago when I was a little boy. That's no more there, and so this is the throne and the sword, some kind of ornamental sword. I don't know where they got it from. To sort of to look, it's I believe it's some kind of bronze metal or something. To look, uh, to look, to go with the throne. They have displayed this ornamental thing. It's so that's that. Let's see. Okay. So there you go. Just I showed you what I was able to do by way of a video, by way of a video footage. Uh, that's a long video, but I don't want to. It becomes. I don't want. I. It would be a drab if I show everything. I just visited the interior of museum and all the other areas. But this is the historical aspect and how they distort history and present and indoctrinate the children from childhood uh, is unbelievable. And see what it is there is so much to it, but people are so disinformed. It's just it's one thing to misinform, but disinforming the growing generation is intentional, and it has a political agenda. So that's what it is. Uh, it it really it really it's really awful what people who are supposed to be practicing Gautama Buddha's precepts, what they are doing in this country, in that country, is unbelievable. uh, I mean, there should be, I guess it's happening everywhere, but and people, human civilization has come a long way, right? In United States, we had a black man becoming a president, and now in Britain we have an Indian man who has become the prime minister, and in Canada there had been Indians in provincial what do you how do you say it? It's not prime minister. Uh, the provincial uh, chief ministers. I mean, Canada has 13 provinces. Uh, Nova Scotia, there had been British Columbia, and all these provinces. We have had a Sheikh man becoming the chief minister. All that is happening. See, these the Western civilizations, no matter what atrocities in the past had taken place, uh, their laws are so. I mean, human nature is driven by greed and selfishness, so there is always conflict. But the laws are so noble. If you read the American Constitution, such a beautiful Constitution. Look what the Britain is. It's just it has become a reality that an Indian man becoming the chief prime minister of a colonial power once ruled their country. I mean, India, Sri Lanka, South Africa, we were the British. We were under the British. We were slaves, and they didn't. But then today things have changed, and the freedom was given to countries like India and Sri Lanka. The same game in India, right? Fortunately, India has 29 provinces which are known as states. Like in United States, it has like 50 states, and so India has 29 states. So that each state regional language. But what they are trying to do is in South Indian, the most ancient language in the world for all for a while, for the longest while, it was Sanskrit was considered to be the oldest language. But then now they found enough archaeological evidence, especially in Tanjavur, and it reveals the Tamil language dates back to over 10,000 years. That's long before even the God created by the going by the Judaic Christian teachings. God created 6,026 years ago. The world was created. Before then, there was no world. So, if going by that, I mean, that teaching is crumbling now because in Denisovan Mountains in Ukraine, Russian area, they found pottery that used by human beings 28,000 years ago. I'm talking about real pottery, cooking utensils, uh, and so that's it dates back to 28,000 years. Uh, it goes back to 28,000 years. And the same thing in Morocco. 158,000 years ago, they found artifacts and potteries and utensils, so on. So humankind has been around, not not the way the biblical teaching says. God created. There was no world. God created the world. He created the sun, moon. That was 4,004 years before Jesus Christ was born. So add 2022, that's the age of Jesus Christ. How much does it work to? 6,026 years ago, God created, right? God said, let there be light, and light came into being, and there was light, and before it was darkness. And so uh, it's all these religious teachings based on faith based religious teachings uh, crumbling, but people it's once you accept something as truth, you will not because it becomes something. Once it goes into your subconscious, you cannot come out of it. And uh, and interestingly, Gautama Buddha's teachings is such a contrast. He said, do not believe anything anybody says. That includes me too. Don't even believe what I say. Be a lamp unto yourself. Be enlightened in your. You need to be. See, the first step of enlightenment is when you know what you don't know, that's the first step towards enlightenment. All right. And so, suffice to say, uh, it's just what is happening in the name of Buddhism, especially, I mean, everywhere, religion is a business, but in Sri Lanka, it's a corrupt business. There is, you can do business to make money, and and you can do uh, unscrupulous business, corrupt, right? And you can do ethical business to make money too. So Buddhism has become a corrupt uh, business. It's a convenient way of life, and not to seek enlightenment and to. I mean, I'm sure there are good monks who are few and far between. I ran into someone in India, a young monk, a chief monk, the that uh, in South India, Tamil Nadu. He was a nice person, but I don't know. But he just I can see these are young people, young men who have this taken to Buddhism because it's a way of life, not to seek enlightenment, but it's a convenient life. Uh, I rather not say anything anymore, and if I have said anything inappropriate, I in the name of Gautama Buddha, forgive me. Thank you.